Well, hey, Parker.
Hey,
What's up?
hey Q,
We're
how's it
doing
going?
this.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
this is the first recording of our unnamed podcast
Yeah.
that might be named by the time this makes it, or
I
I guess
hope
it
so.
will be named by the time it makes
Well,
it onto the.
what are the possible contenders?
My suggestion was Q and podcast.
Which I enjoy. Sorry, of course I have to adjust my mic. I don't want to have to literally hunch over because I literally was hunching over. All right, that's a little better, guys.
Yeah, you look more comfortable actually.
Yeah, I feel more comfortable.
If I could take a picture of you, you look like the difference between you then as Quasimodo and you now as Q is a big difference. So.
Is it would you say it's a substantial difference?
I would say it's probably substantial. I would use substantial to describe
Substantial
it.
is a good word. I like substantial.
Yeah. What other word would you use to describe a big difference? You and your elaborate vocabulary that I don't have.
I don't know. It's escaping me at the moment. I'm shy. My uncle Josh, he came up with the mind your P's and Q's. Or mind your Q's and P's or whatever. I told you that on the phone, right?
No, actually, you didn't tell me that one. I actually don't mind that. That one's not bad.
It's kind of growing on me. The more I think about it, it's kind of growing on me.
Mind your P's and Q's. I think P's and Q's might actually. Usually, I prefer. I prefer Q before the P. Like whenever we had Q and P productions,
right.
That sounded better. But now I'm thinking mind your P's and Q's sounds a little bit better. I think it's just the way the phrase works out. So
I mean, I dig it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's ask our imaginary audience, guys. What do you think?
Give a comment or
leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. I don't know. We're literally talking to an imaginary audience right now. This is kind of meta in a way.
It is a little meta. Yeah, it's actually kind of weird.
It's actually really weird thinking about it.
Yeah, it's very
gazing into your beautiful eyes.
Yeah,
unflinchingly.
Unflinchingly staring into your beautiful eyes, thinking about the imaginary audience that we have.
That hopefully we will one day have. I don't know. I told you about my favorite podcast to listen to right now is JREE, and it's 3 Canadian dudes talk about Joe Rogan. But I think we were talking about this. Within 10-15 minutes, they're already off the rails. Talking about freaking UFOs or whatever.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that, right?
I don't know. We'll see. They did find life on Venus. Dude.
Yeah, I actually saw.
Well, they didn't find life, but
it wasn't they found the gas, it was phosphate gas, I think.
Phosphine, I believe.
Phosphine, and it's released from living organisms or organisms of some sort. So
my understanding is the phosphine gas, and I'm just going to click on a Times article real quick, just because it's the first thing that popped up. I didn't know this. I thought Venus was further away from the sun than us, but evidently Venus is the second planet, and it's actually pretty close to us as far as distance from the sun.
I'm actually really terrible about knowing the solar system. Not gonna lie to you, I never did one of those cool solar system projects, but I will say that I know Venus and then Mars and then Earth, obviously. So it would make sense that Venus and Mars and then whatever is after Earth that I also don't know. Maybe is Neptune next?
Probably be after us, and Mars is after us. And the first planet...
I thought... Okay, so we're the third planet.
Yeah, we're the third rock from the sun.
Third rock from the sun. Yeah, actually, that makes sense. Can we cut that out? No, I mean, I'm not... Like I said, I'm in terms of geography and planets, I'm completely uninformed. So all I could really tell you is that I saw the article where it said Venus... We found some...
I'm drinking this way too fast.
We found some life on Venus.
Drinking my beer way too fast.
Signs of life.
Also, talking about beer, Miller Lite.
The sponsor of today's podcast.
Yeah. Today's show is brought to you by Miller Lite, a fine Pilsner beer. No, I'm drinking it way too fast. But yeah, no, I didn't realize that Miller was one of the few decent Pilsners. Because Budweiser's a lager, Coors Light is a lager. I thought Coors was a... Coors, that is.
So what's the difference between a Pilsner and a lager?
Pilsner is a lot lighter. It's less hops.
Gotcha.
So fun fact about that, during Prohibition, Anheuser-Busch, who owns Budweiser, when they couldn't sell alcohol because it was illegal at the time, at least for them, they sold instead their rice. And that's how they survived through Prohibition.
Wow.
Was just selling their rice. They basically...
It was a long 9 years, right? Or however long.
Yeah,
Prohibition was.
yeah.
I think it was like 13 years or something.
I think it was 10.
I know it started in 1920.
Yeah, it was 1920. It's one of the few amendments that's ever been ratified. And then, what's the word for unratified?
It was 1920 to 1933. It was 13 years. Wow.
13 years in dry country. Honestly, though, thank God for Canada, because a lot of the good booze that wasn't made in like somebody's bathtub came from Canada, Canadian whiskey. So, anyways, back to Venus. Good heavens,
We really
got tangential pretty quick.
Yeah, it did.
So I'm highlighting this section of the Times article. What they found instead were significant quantities of the toxic gas phosphine, which is a known byproduct of microorganisms that thrive in anaerobic environments.
What's an anaerobic environment, though?
Anaerobic means without air. So aerobic means to breathe. Like you have aerobic exercise.
Yeah, well, that's okay. That's the only way I know anaerobic and aerobic is.
That's how I know anaerobic
exercise.
as well. But yeah, anaerobic means without air. Essentially, what I'm seeing is these are microorganisms that are pooping or farting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
or dying.
Or dying. Or just, they're just producing gas, bro.
Cool.
In any way that they can. Hello, Zahi. Yeah, we didn't introduce Zahi. Zahi's on the show.
Zahi, say hi.
Hi, Zahi. Oh, we should probably introduce ourselves too.
We're
let's see how far in we are.
We are.
Wow, we're 10 minutes in. Look at that. That's fast.
That was a fast 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's right on the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was looking up at the top, like where it says 10, 14, 10, 15,
LOL.
10, 16,
I didn't even.
17, 18,
Ouch.
19.
I just said LOL. That's hurt.
So that wraps up today. It's okay. We're gonna get another.
Yeah, because
look at me talking versus you talking.
Huge.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna sound like a giant, like one of those. Like you know how in like movies and stuff, the giants are super loud and huge and slow. That's probably gonna be me. Yeah, my name is Parker. I live here in Louisville, Kentucky. I went to high school with Q.
Can we not say the city? Is that weird?
Not say Louisville?
Yeah, is that weird?
Louisville's a big city. But...
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, let's roll with that. I'm sorry, dude.
I mean, okay. My name is Parker, and I live here in Kentucky, an unnamed city in Kentucky.
Okay.
It starts with an L, and there's two options. Right. Good luck.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
No, just
take three. Okay, because we gotta get this. Okay, my name is Parker. I live here in Louisville, Kentucky, and I do woodworking for fun. That's gonna be my fun fact about myself. Go on, Q. Say your name, where you're from, and then a fun fact about yourself.
I am Clinton.
Structure this.
I am. What was the next question?
Where are you from?
I am from Louisville. It's Louisville, by the way, guys. It's Louisville.
No matter what anybody says to you, no matter how they
Louisville.
think it is, no matter who King Louis was, it is Louisville. Fun fact, our sister city is New Orleans in Louisiana. Louisville also has the most iron front buildings in the world, which is why if you go to downtown Louisville, you know those building fronts that are held up on like the stands, and you're like, why are those there? It's because Louisville has the most iron front building fronts in the world, so they actually just kept those up to keep their status.
Huh. You'd think that maybe the city would do something good with it, like shelter all the homeless people, or
but put something behind it besides just structure. Like, I mean, they essentially spent time and money to build like a fake structure behind it just to hold it up, but they're just, it's like gravel lots. You can't even park your car there. I mean, even making a parking lot would be more worth the money than
that would be a strange parking lot to logistically, I believe. I mean, because how are you going to get the car in there? You know. Maybe
there's a back alley entrance. I mean, you can you can pull the car up. I mean, you wouldn't have like a ton of spots, but some spots is better than none, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Fun fact about yourself.
Here's a fun fact, something that I don't drop very often. I used to be a national champion in Taekwondo.
I was actually thinking about that the other day. I was
Two
watching,
times actually, back-to-back years.
Do you know why I was thinking about that?
Why were you thinking about
Because
that?
I watched The Karate Kid.
Cobra.
I've been watching.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you sent me that snap.
Yeah, I've been watching Cobra Kai, which made me want to watch The Karate Kid.
That's right. We talked about this on the phone.
Which, honestly, watching that movie... So I've never been a huge fan of 80s stuff. Like, it's okay. The 80s was fine. The music was good. The movies were pretty cheesy. But a lot of them really didn't hold up. Like, I feel like a lot of 80s movies, like, I try and watch them, and I'm like, meh. Like, I don't know. Like, think about, like, The Breakfast Club. Not to bash on The Breakfast Club. Anybody who wants to know this, I do actually like The Breakfast Club. My problem is actually lies with the fact that I don't think it's relatable anymore. If you watch The Breakfast Club now, think about like me, like in high school. At least my high school experience was nothing like The Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
Even with a diverse group of friends, I don't think my high school experience related to The Breakfast Club. So I just don't think it held up as well. But I will say, even though it wasn't, how my like high school experience was or anything like that, like I didn't, have any similarities to The Karate Kid, I will say it was a dang good movie and it held up. I enjoyed watching it. And I've seen it plenty of times, but I really enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, I haven't watched any crazy. Well, I did watch a Netflix documentary about the Killdozer thing. Did I tell you about that?
You told me about that,
Dude,
yeah.
freaking crazy, man.
Yeah, I remember Killdozer though.
I don't remember Killdozer.
What year did that happen?
2004. It was either 2004 or 2006.
Okay, I don't see. The thing is, I don't remember it when it happened. I just remember, maybe I just remembered it from like high school, all the memes about it, because like the video released on the internet, everyone was like Killdozer, and like everybody knew about it. So I remember the meme of Killdozer. I don't remember the actual event. But again, powerful. When I was 9, I really wasn't paying attention to the news. I don't even think I had a RuneScape account yet.
Whoa.
I didn't have MySpace yet.
I had a RuneScape before I had a MySpace or Facebook. But I really didn't play that much.
I will say I had RuneScape before MySpace or Facebook. Facebook is where you can easily block people with the click of a button.
Macebook. It's the new thing.
Don't just block people.
Dude.
Completely destroy their ability to see or smell.
So you've seen that episode of Black Mirror, right? With John Hamm? Season 4, I think.
I think I've seen all the episodes of Black Mirror, but which episode is it? Like, so, you have to tell me what happened. I don't know the actor.
It was, I believe, it might have been a season arc, or perhaps it was just a longer episode. Mm-hmm. But essentially, John Hamm, God, it's difficult to explain. So I'm just going to jump to the to the crux. John Hamm is convicted of some really bad crime, and instead of serving any kind of traditional punishment, he's blocked like from everything. Okay. Gotcha. And when I say that, this is of course Black Mirror in the dystopian future where everything's possible. Everybody's connected to social media at all times in this world that John Hamm inhabits. And because of his bad decision, and he's blocked by everybody, which means when he walks by somebody in the street, he knows someone is standing there,
but he doesn't know who they are.
He can't talk to them because there's like a weird noise anytime they talk or he talks.
I remember that it was like...
Yeah, and
it was like the parents from Charlie Brown.
Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about, right? You saw that episode. Dude, that might be our future. And would that not be such a terrible punishment?
Oh man, that's awesome.
Like you can live in society, but literally anybody that you try to talk to, anybody that you're just admonished.
Yeah.
And you have no control over it, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's kind of
Black Mirror's a great show.
It is a great show.
It's literally the 21st century version of Twilight show
the Twilight Show. Twilight Show. Yeah. So Edward is definitely more awkward, but I think I don't know. I don't think I'm Team Jacob really though.
I remember.
Speaking of the Twilight Show,
you remember Mariah?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if we were hanging out when I was dating Mariah, but we kind of
we knew each other.
Right. We kind of hung in the same scene at least, like Mariah and I did when we started hanging out in high school, and she was so fanatical about that. It seemed like everybody back in the day when the Twilight movies were coming out and the Twilight books are still being written, everybody, I even remember McDonald's commercials. Everybody was talking about Edward versus Jacob.
Edward versus Jacob. But you know what's really funny? I never watched any of the Twilight movies. I think I may have seen clips of the first one from my younger sister. And I remember one day I was at my family's farm and I was bored. We didn't have internet or TV or anything. And I actually read through a little bit of the first book just out of boredom. But just a month ago, 2 months ago, I actually sat down, no joke, like complete, like serious face to face, and watched through every single Twilight movie.
Serial face?
Serial face.
Serial face.
Look at me and know that I watched through every single Twilight movie.
I'm seeing super serial face right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy them? I mean...
Honestly, yes. It was not because they were like, obviously the acting wasn't very good, and obviously the movies, like the plot had like the holes were just.
There were holes.
I feel like there were plot holes, or maybe not plot holes, but there was just like things that you're just like, why? Like that makes no sense. Like no human being, vampire, werewolf, whatever.
I was about to call you out on that. I was about to be like, man, you know they're vampires, right? You know they're werewolves, right?
Nobody acts that way though. Like I really genuinely don't know. Like I mean, Bella was a human until like the second to last movie, really. And
yeah, didn't she become a vampire?
Yeah, she was giving birth. Okay, spoiler alert. Anybody that hasn't seen Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1.
He pulls it out. Anybody who hasn't seen Breaking
Go on
Dawn.
and mute it for the next X amount of time.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, in Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1, at the very end, I believe it's Breaking Dawn Part 1, Bella dies giving birth to Edward's baby. After getting pregnant, she got pregnant and, was having the baby within, a few weeks because it was a vampire baby. So, they got married. So, the end of the movie before, they got married, went on their honeymoon, and then there was this really awkward sex scene in which the bed breaks. It was really terrible. It was awful. Edward, goes to, grab the head of the bed and, smashes it. And they're Jacob's
Had they not done it before?
No, they had not. They waited till marriage. And then so they were on their honeymoon.
I'm sorry. Dude.
So wait, no. I mean, I'm pretty sure the writer was actually very religiously based. If I'm not wrong, I don't remember. Stephanie Meyer. Stephanie Meyer. Yeah, she was.
That is hilarious.
She was a very religious person, I believe. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. We can Google it if you really want. But
that is hilarious.
Anyways, so they waited till marriage, and then they decided to have sex. But at the wedding, they were talking about it. And Jacob, the werewolf, who was also in love with Bella, was really mad and freaked out. And he was like, "Don't do it. You're gonna kill her." He literally was like, "If you have sex, it's gonna kill her." So I guess he had known this was gonna happen. I'm not really sure how he knew this was gonna happen.
That's
so
funny.
To keep going, so Jacob's like, "You're gonna kill her." That's my best Jacob impression. But he's like, "You're gonna kill her," and then she goes anyways, and then they have sex, and obviously he doesn't kill her, but he does break the bed.
That's hilarious.
I actually didn't even think about that, but there really
That's
is
hilarious,
there's no smoking or drinking in those movies. Anyway, so they waited till marriage, had sex, broke the bed, and then not even before they ended their honeymoon, Bella's pregnant, and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" And so she's starts showing within days. They take her home. She's getting malnourished. She's eating food obviously because she's still human, but she's super malnourished. They made her look sick. It was actually pretty good makeup effects and stuff or whatever they used to make her look like that. But then they find out that she actually needs blood, help the baby. So then within 3 weeks she gives birth to this baby, and then there's this big war that's gonna happen between the vampires and the werewolves, and Jacob ends up seeing the baby, and as soon as it's born, and then he's like, "I'm in love with your baby." It's really weird. It's so creepy. Yeah, no joke. Jacob falls in love with this child the second it's born. Okay, let's go on and move to that subject then.
Oh, cuties! Have you heard about that? The Netflix thing?
No, I have not. Oh, maybe.
Really?
Okay, I've seen some memes about it.
Sorry, the Seinfeld thing was my phone. If you guys heard that, I actually meant to tell you that. Hey man, make sure to silence your phone.
Yeah, I actually did silence my. You didn't. So
my bad.
No, I've heard about. So I've heard that a lot of people are upset because and correct me if I'm wrong. It was sexualizing children.
So if I may add my 2 cents. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that describes a movie right there.
Wow.
Because I try to play. My favorite game to play is Diablo Avocado. Okay. I did not watch the movie. However, I did some research into the director, into the production company. They're all French, of course, because this movie is, about twerking kids. I did fast forward, but I didn't like watch it. There were weird parts that were weird, that made me uncomfortable, that would make the average person uncomfortable.
And you were watching it in fast forward. So
Yeah,
imagine like being uncomfortable in fast forward, let alone in...
Fast forwarded, but I didn't like watch it. My understanding is, based off of online and just what I saw, is it's just a conflict about this girl from a religious family that wants to fit in with these chicks. And they're all like 11, they're all like preteens or whatever.
Yeah.
But they have these little things called phones that they see all these girls that are older than them, all their idols basically doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And she wants to fit in with these other girls that are like dancing in provocative ways such as they see on their phone.
Yeah.
So this religious girl like goes and she like kind of forms this dance group with these other girls. But then when they like do the dance off or whatever at the end of the movie, she realizes how stupid she's being, and then she leaves and goes back to her family.
Okay.
But it's weird, and it's incredibly ironic because the whole point of the movie is a criticism of hypersexualization of preteens, and everybody's freaking out. I guarantee you, most of these people.
Well, I thought the main reason people were upset, and I get my news from social media, so I do understand that this is probably not correct. I'm gonna go on and make that disclaimer out here that I know that 90% of the time I'm gonna be wrong about stuff.
Facebook is not news, guys.
Facebook is not news. I know that. Unless I find a reputable news source, then I won't really 100% believe it. But what I saw was that it was the advertisement. And that's why I think people are so mad about at Netflix, was because the advertisement and the portrayal of the movie was different.
I remember.
So I actually was seeing that, and there was 2 different versions of the head, the cover picture or whatever. And one was this good picture of the group of young girls that was together, and then the second picture was the one that they posted, or the one that they used, and it was extremely sexual and stuff. And so everyone was really upset because they used the really sexual one, and they believed that was sexualizing the young teens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the film does. It does do that. Like I said, any average person, any normal person would be uncomfortable watching certain parts of the movie.
Yeah.
That being said, again, this is an incredible feat of irony by humanity, because we love to do it. I hope you guys can't hear that vacuum. Somebody is vacuuming the hallway for some reason. My apartment.
The one time.
The one time. Yeah, and it's an incredible feat of irony, and a little bit of oxymoron-ish kind of stuff, because the film is criticizing criticizing that stuff, and people are saying that the film needs to go because it's hypersexualizing kids. It's it's a snake eating itself. You know what I mean? So the reason why this is interesting is I saw something that I have not yet corroborated, and this is why I encourage anybody that does get their news from social media, please double check everything that you find on social media, because not all the times will it be true. And for some reason my internet isn't working. So Netflix has lost $9 billion or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
That's a pretty big cut. Well, honestly, why wouldn't they just drop the movie at that point?
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Well, so here's the thing is, I would imagine, and this is just my thoughts, and I could be completely wrong again. I'm no matter what willing to admit that I can be wrong, but my thoughts would be they're probably bound by a contract. If you were to sell a movie to Netflix with the idea that they were going to post that movie, and then Netflix did it, and then they wanted out, they've already paid you for that movie, and they've already agreed that they were going to play it, which is your art. So if I made something and I wanted it to be on display, let's say at the University of Louisville Speed Art Museum, and I was like, hey, I want this to be on display, and they pay me for 6 months of display, but then after a week, people get mad and they take it down. The thing is, as an artist, I don't know.
So
Who made it? I don't know anything about it. But if I wanted my artwork or my thing to be up there, then they're contractually bound to do that because of the contract. But again, they also may not. I mean, there's got to be like a buyout option or something that Netflix could do.
So I'm trying to find. I'm not finding anything about Netflix losing money.
Well, you know what you could do? You just look at the stock market. That's kind of
Well, I don't doubt that the stock is down. That's probably it. But I saw a lot of things on YouTube talking about how Netflix was losing money, and a couple people at work were talking about it. We all talked about it at work. But yeah, I mean, I
honestly, I kind of disagree. I mean, if you're looking at Netflix over the course of like the last 2 years is what I'm looking at, September to September, they're still higher than they were 2 years ago, which Netflix was pretty high 2 years ago. So
yeah,
they are on like a downward slope, and that probably didn't help them. Like if you look at the week, like this week they were red because they're like lower than they were.
Speaking to the mic, Parker.
Sorry, but they're still like positive for the month. It looks like. I mean, they're still showing green. I don't know anything about stocks, so I'm not again misinformed.
I'm gonna give this a day or two to simmer and then revisit it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see. What's going on with the weather? You said something about the weather earlier.
Yeah, so I actually wanted to talk to you about this earlier, but I really was holding off. So what would you say the weather is today? What would you describe the weather as?
I would say that today's weather was queer. It felt like very cool.
It was, but no, I mean, look at the sky. What would you say? Would you say it's cloudy, sunny?
I haven't seen the sun all day.
No, so the sun hasn't been out all day.
I'm not sure if it's been cloudy either.
So
I'm not sure.
So if you look right now, I mean, you can see the clouds in the sky.
Right.
I noticed this morning when I woke up that, and I'm weird. I pay really close attention to the weather. Go back to that first page, actually. Louisville weather. Go back to all. So if you look, it says 70 degrees, and if you notice, sunny. And it said it was sunny all day. Every single source that I found.
You're right.
Everything said it was sunny all day, but if you looked outside all day, every single time I looked outside, there was not there. The whole sky was just gray. And at first I was like, oh, it's gonna rain today. But then I kept checking the weather, and I'm like, no, it's not gonna rain today. And then I kept seeing the sun, and I was like, that's odd. So I looked up, and you should probably try and Google this. If you look up, type in like California fires hit New York.
Oh, California fires in New York?
Fires, or like the smoke hits New York. Just hit like New York.
Okay.
Or smoke map. That works too. I found an article. Specifically, the article I found was from yesterday, but it was talking about how the fires are in like the smoke has traveled to New York. But then I looked, and there was actually a map on the article of the smoke, and yeah, maybe right there. Look at that. Look, we're actually in the line of fire for the Kentucky, mind you. We're on the eastern coast. I mean, we're as close as you can get to the eastern coast as you can get. We're as close as you can get to the eastern coast as you can get. As close as you can get to the eastern coast as you can get. As close as you can get.
Not this time.
Yeah.
And I think the weather today was entirely like the clouds, the fact that we couldn't really see the sun. I mean, if you looked up at the sun, it was a very thin layer of clouds. It wasn't like you know how like when it's like a cloudy day, you can barely see the sun behind the clouds. No, the sun was coming through. Like there was still light. Like it almost looked sunny. I was just paying attention to the weather and saw that, and so I decided to look that up. So we're actually getting affected. But if you look up pictures of New York from yesterday, that's what's actually really interesting. Is like we really didn't get a lot of it. I mean,
dude, the fires in California are crazy right now. And look at this. Look at this big freaking hurricane. So there's all this smoke literally all over the United States. It looks like a big...
Guys, actually, no joke. Well,
and
maybe
there's Hurricane Sally.
But no, seriously, it's like devastating that people still are denying climate change when there's a fire that's destroying millions of acres.
And how many hurricanes have we had just this summer?
I mean, there was a double hurricane. I've never heard of a double hurricane.
Yeah, and then there was another one earlier this summer.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is probably the most interesting talk about the weather I've had in a while. But
yeah,
there was a map, and you could see where they were, and we were getting hit. So
we should take a break so I can save this just in case something happens and I should walk Z.
Okay.
Is that cool?
That sounds good. 2014? 2014. This album is, yeah. All right. Are we recording?
We are recording.
We are back.
We're back.
So
after
this
taking
Chinese
Zahia.
company.
Well, real quick, I think we should tell everybody about Michael Cera because
So-
that was genuinely delightful.
That was delightful. Michael Cera, in case you didn't know, has an album on Spotify and a single. The album came out in 2014. The single came out in 2017. It was actually delightful to listen to. At least the song "Clay Pigeons" is what we were first listening to. That's what it's called, "Clay Pigeons." I'm tired. Which is actually the second time this week that "Clay Pigeons" has come up in a conversation of mine.
Like the song "Clay Pigeons" or just
Clay
pigeons
pigeons.
being clay?
The words "clay." Pigeons.
Oh, I see. How? Okay.
Because you shoot clay pigeons.
Right,
so
right, right.
earlier this week I was talking to, well, I guess it was a long conversation with some coworkers. One of them went to one of those rooms where I actually can't remember what they called it, but it was like one of those rooms where you break a lot of stuff. You just go in and you're like,
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking
yeah.
about.
She said that her friend was like, my boss is a piece of crap, and was like yelling her boss's name and breaking things.
That's
So
hilarious.
If you ever want to get some frustration out, I guess you can go to one of these rooms and you can bring stuff. Is what they said. She said she didn't know that you could bring stuff with you, but she just broke whatever they had, which was like clay pigeons and beer bottles and stuff. So yeah, that was why clay pigeons came up. She didn't know the name of clay pigeons, but we now know that. And then we were talking about shooting them and things like that. But
Right.
And then Michael Cera wrote a song called "Clay Pigeons."
Yeah, the Michael Cera stuff, man, that was pretty good. Pretty hipstery.
It was a little hipstery,
But I can dig it.
I can dig it.
Kind of sounded like early Modest Mouse, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. It was
I don't
very,
know.
it
You
was
know
just
Modest
very
Mouse
like,
on it.
I don't know, just man in his guitar. That's what it sounded like. Michael Cera's not bad.
I bet that guy like just hires the best producers and stuff, and that's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
When you have the money, you should
When you have the money,
utilize
you use it.
every tool you have at your disposal. But it's especially me starting to play the synthesizer, bro. Oh my gosh, music production's hard. This will be easier than learning the synthesizer.
The synthesizer.
The
synthesizer.
That's what Giorgio Moroder calls it, and that really good Daft Punk song. He's like, but I knew the synthesizer, so I played the synthesizer. But I knew I needed a click,
Play the synthesizer.
so I put the click in the Moga module, and it went a little something like this.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyways,
you should check out that song. It's great.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wait, what was that? Daft Punk?
Yeah, it was Daft Punk.
Daft Punk.
Giorgio Moroder.
Giorgio.
Your good old Giorgio Moroder.
Down here in Kentucky.
Down here in Kentucky, we all talk like this. We all have we all got a little bit of that slick tongue in us.
Well, welcome back from the break.
Oh, yeah,
So
thanks.
what we were talking about before the break was that there's a Chinese company, Zenhua.
Zenhua.
I don't know. I'm not very good at pronouncing things. I'm not very good at a lot of things. But anyways, they had a data leak. They had a whole bunch of Australian people's data, and it was 35,000 Australians being spied on by China, according to this article, this news head.
Bezachenes.
So what did you find out?
Tens of thousands of Australians, including celebrities, politicians, and journalists, data collected, company, links to Chinese military. Researchers say collection is being used as psychological warfare to manipulate public.
Public opinion in Australia.
In Australia, not in the United States.
Down in
although
the Bobby. I can't do any accents, guys. I'm sorry.
database was leaked, or database published overnight after it was leaked to an academic. 35,000 Australians, 2.4 million people around the world, though. And the
Wow.
company is called Zenhua.
Zenhua data.
I don't know.
Genhua data.
So here's what I'm gathering from this is that we should be concerned, considering the fact that it was millions of people around the world. It was only 35,000 Australians. That's like 35,000 to 2 million, or however many million it said, is a pretty significant difference.
And by the way, the source, although this has popped up several times on several different platforms for both of us, or maybe just me.
I haven't seen anything about
Yeah,
this.
probably just me.
I'm also, again, social media is where I get the majority of my news. So.
Yeah, this is news.com.au. So this is literally an Australian news website. Like their
They're
website
going to focus on the
is literally
Australians.
australiannews.com.
But they're going to focus on the fact that there's like Australians, but we're over here, so I'm kind
interesting.
of concerned about the fact that it was millions of people.
That is very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it said 2.4 million people, right?
Yeah,
but 35,000.
35,000 isn't even 0.1 of a million.
I was about to do the math on that. And regardless of the percentage, it doesn't take a calculator or a smart person to figure that's not an incredible amount of people. Out of 2.4 million, why are we only finding out about the Australians? Why aren't we finding out about the Americans, those Yanks?
Yeah, that's like 1.45%. So you have 1.45% of the people that were targeted were Australians, but I wonder how many of those people, like, I guess Australia is just the one that.
Oh, this might be it. So this is an Australian-based company.
So it's an Australian-based company.
That's why they're only talking about the Australians.
I'm still kind of concerned. Now, what is there? I wonder if there's like a way to know what kind of like technology this is in the United States, because
It's in everything, Parker. It's in your phone. It's in your air conditioner. It's in
my
your
air
television.
conditioner is 29 years old.
But Facebook, Instagram, all of these large social media companies, what they do is they literally scan your device, see what you're clicking on, what you like, what you share, what you dislike, and they put that into an algorithm, or I should say the algorithm figures out content to send to you, content to show you that would intrigue you, that would keep you attached to their platform.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They want to send you stuff that you know that you're going to read, know that you're going to like, and they're not going to send you anything contrarian. But yeah, man, I mean, social media, I mean, there are good and bads, and dude, rock on if you want to. But
Yeah.
that's just something to be cognizant of.
That's terrifying.
Like who you are based off of how you downloaded the app, because you need an account or some line of online presence to be able to download that app on your phone. So they know your name and they know all the information attached to that.
You can't even have a phone anymore without having like some sort of online presence, because you have to have an app. So
Dude,
the only thing you could do really is to go buy like a small flip phone, and even then you're gonna have some sort of presence, but as long as you don't have internet on it, I guess. Wait. Whoa, I saw a really important thing. It said cell phones kill ghosts.
What?
Cell phone kills ghosts dead.
Oh, that's Aqua Teen Hunger Force, bro.
That's basically news, right?
Yeah, that is basically news.
Stop using cell phones. You're killing ghosts.
They literally kill ghosts, guys. So
do you ever think you haven't seen a ghost for a bad reason? It's because you actually are just carrying a cell phone. And it's like carrying around a crucifix.
Dude, I don't care what Alex Jones says. They need to put more cell phone towers, so we can kill all these freaking ghosts, dude. I do not know about you, but my life is overwhelmed on a daily basis.
Have you
by
or one of your
ghosts.
loved ones been affected by a haunting? Have you ever wondered, man, what can I do to get rid of all these ghosts? More cell phones. Get a cell phone. Buy a cell phone today.
Buy a cell phone today.
Buy a cell phone today.
Buy a cell phone today. You gotta kill them ghosts with your cell phones.
Side effects include being spied on.
Yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes. Oh man, I think about watching FMA every now and then.
Alchemy, the science. I don't remember the exact words.
Yeah, neither do I. I actually have been watching One Piece, and I've been digging One Piece a lot. I might become one of those One Piece nerds.
So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna watch through One Piece. I was like, I mean, how long can it be? This is before I realized that One Piece is like one of the longest animes ever made, and this is coming from somebody who, over the course of his life, has watched every episode of Naruto. Not regretted it, but I mean, looking back, I spent more time watching Naruto than I should have. So there's
not regretted it.
But I mean, as close as you can get to regretting something without actually regretting it.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, I mean, Naruto was good. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that it's a long anime. There's a lot of filler, and I feel like One Piece is gonna have to have that same thing, clearly, because One Piece has not even like there's like a certain number of things that has to be done before it ends. Like there's like certain like challenges or people that he has to kill or whatever. There's like so many of these people, and they're like finished with like one or two like of these like challenges or people. Like they're like
It's crazy.
Like it's insane. Like they're not even close, and they're like almost 1,000 episodes in.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I would not, as a 25-year-old male, yeah, there's just no way that I think I could, like, I'll be watching it until I'm 35, if not longer.
So the original run was from July 22nd of 1997 to now. This thing's old enough to drink. This thing's almost old enough, as old as us.
When I was
23
when I
years
was
old.
2 years old, I was not able to read this manga.
But yeah, dude, one of the things that got me to watch it was the anime YouTubers like Gigic and My Mother's Basement talked about One Piece, and I don't know, it just seemed like fun. And you're absolutely right. You know, it's And Luffy, he needs the author at one point said that Luffy's going to have 13 crew members. And he only has like 7 or 8 or 9 or something like that.
Wow. Yeah, I just don't see.
The show's got like 1,000 episodes.
I mean, I just don't see like. So if you were writing this, how do you think you would make it last that long? I mean, my thing is like, I guess at some point it's probably like making this guy enough money to the mangaka. Is that the correct term for the man who writes the manga?
I'm not sure.
I believe the correct term, based on the YouTube videos that I watched, is mangaka. Correct me if I'm wrong, people.
Mangaka.
Mangaka.
Like,
I think
is that like the guy that's the guy that writes it?
Yeah, look it up.
Oh, dude, I finished Erased on Netflix.
What's Erased?
Anime. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. You should totally watch it.
I'll have to check it out.
It's really, really good. It's kind of sad though, man. It's actually really sad.
Really?
I don't know about you,
but I'm feeling 22.
I kind of figured out who like the main bad guy was early on in the show, and I watch too much TV, too many movies. He is freaking out right now, guys.
Yeah, he just wants some attention.
Yeah, he just wants some
attention.
Needs
the love.
It's, I figured I watch too much TV and I watch too many movies, so I kind of like know where the narrative is going usually.
We get it, bro. You vape.
Anyways, it's a good show. It's a good show. It's about a guy that can go back in time and change things, but he doesn't know when it's going to happen, and it only happens like a couple minutes at a time. So he gets a sense that it's going to happen. So he like looks around and he's like, "Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? I feel like something's going to happen. What's going to happen? We have to figure out what's going to happen." And then when something does happen, he like experiences it, and then he comes back and he fixes it.
What's this called?
Erased.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
And oh, you poor dog! He just bumped his head into the bottom of the table, trying to jump into my lap.
Sorry.
You want to wrap it up, bro?
Yeah, I think it's. I ran out of things to talk about. Really.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
We only killed an hour and 15 minutes of your time,
That's
or
not bad.
probably after we're done editing, an hour of your time.
Who knows?
Well, thanks everybody for joining us this week on what was the Mind Your P's and Q's.
Mind your P's and Q's, guys.
This has been another wonderful week on Mind Your P's and Q's. Join us next week while we have our guests, the ghosts. The ghosts we were gonna have a guest next week. It was gonna be ghosts that lived in my house, but the problem is that the cell phone killed them. So we put in a tower nearby and it just wiped them out. So it'll just be me, Q, and Zahi again.
All right, take it easy, guys. Have a good night. Stay safe.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.